Oh, hi there. Cello. Hey now. Hola. And ba weep grana weep nini bong. However you want to say it. Welcome to that Kev1 show.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step two, step two, step two, step two. Hey, Kev Lovables. Having some fun because fresh from the set of Delphi from the, what do they call it, the Rocky Balboa universe? Yeah, a spinoff from Creed. And Amazon Studios, your favorite Kev, ya boy, moi, is here. After, somewhere between 12 and 16 hour. 16 was going to be the max. And that was probably like 13, 14 hour. Shoot day, whoo-wee, and boy are my wings tired. Yeah, I'm here, and I promise you guys a new episode, and I am here because I'm cool for the summer. Not cruel, but cool. And as promised to the top subscribers, the mailbag is officially open. So before today's guest, who has a heart out, so I got to get to her. Oh, it's a her. And fun fact, she's the only one that's ever requested ketchup for the green room. So, yeah. Definitely, a guest top tier guest. Yeah, let's do this. The mailbag is open, though, and top subscribers, they get their questions answered, my friends. So hit me up on the socials, get that motion going. You don't even have to be on Patreon, always. You can go to Scottish Keto Guido on YouTube. Anyway, without further ado, Adam H. asks, Kev1. I love he calls me Kev1. It's kind of like in Die Hard, people like I've heard fans call John McClane, Bruce Willis' character. Yeah, remember when Die Hard jumps off that Kev1 show is a play on Kevin with a 1 for the I, but it's pronounced like Kev1. You guys all know this origin story. You're fans. Anyway, Adam H asks, Kev1, love the show. You're so chill, but what's your biggest pet peeve? Ooh, I just handed this, so, I try to keep it I keep it positronic supersonic. A glass glowing. I'll say glass glowing, so it's not wrong or flub at all. A glass glowing half full, overflowing. I think I was going for overflowing, so I did glow. But what is my biggest pet peeve? Ooh. Everyone has stuff. I'm not gonna say traffic, blah, 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 all that jazz. What's something unique you might not have all talked about up the wazoo? Ooh, okay. One we can all agree on that is probably my biggest pet peeve on the reg. Definitely in the top 5 pet peeves for sure. I'd have to say this, how do you describe it? The commercial era, we're all trapped inside right now. Like, it's insane. There's commercials everywhere more than ever. I know I'm 24 forever. Hee hee, wink. But remember when, you used to be able to, skip commercials. You used to be able to, in some form or fashion. TiVo, even if, say, you had a VCR back in the day, you could, record Buffy or Viper or SmackDown, whatever, what have you, your show. Fast forward the commercials. A lot of people wanted to watch their show an hour after it was on or 30 minutes into it. Well, an hour because you want to record the whole thing. And then fast forward the commercials. Boom. And then it can even be a treat. Oh my God, there's a commercial for this new movie that I've been so excited to see, and it's like a treat instead of it's not even a commercial, it's a trailer. Or, Pizza Hut has some crazy unique commercial, oh wow, what I mean. But now you're just trapped. And even HBO, which was premium, and they still make a great product, so I'm not shitting on them in that way, but they were, I'm still gonna say it this way, they were premium, creme de la creme, top tier. Whoa, you have HBO, you must be rich. I mean, maybe not quite that level, but kinda, and it stands for home box office for crying out loud. That's what HBO stands for. Now it's they have commercials. That's crazy. You're watching a Swiffer commercial and you're trying to watch Eastbound and Down. It's what? And even during movies, Amazon Prime. Hello, Prime. Hello, Prime. What's Prime about having to wait through 2 minutes of commercials before your show, And they make great stuff too. They cast me in a show recently. Yeah, it's and it's crazy. I'm in a hurry all the time. I'm always in a hurry, kind of, no matter what. Even if I'm on the weekends chilling, I'm in a hurry to get to a store before they close so I can go to the gym before that closes, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. But say in the mornings you have your routine, maybe you take your vitamins, maybe you do whatever, you decompress, whatever you do in the mornings. I'm in a hurry in the mornings, and sometimes I'm maybe I'll turn on a little something while I'm getting ready for this. I have 3 minutes or 5 minutes in my room before I'm going to go brush my teeth and whatever else for another, shower if I did the night before, whatever. I have 3 minutes in my room. used to be able to turn on my TV, go to Hulu or wherever, and watch a little something. Now you push play on some, I'll watch 3 minutes of this really quick while I whatever. And it's commercials, and it says 1 of 7. Or what? No, sorry, you turn it right off. It's literally ruined that experience. And oh, my lord, my Lanza, what the F about this? And I've seen people even do comments where like they say like my girlfriend lets their food get cold before she does this. Yeah, you get your food ready. A lot of us, you eat during when you're watching something or during the beginning of it or part of it, Kind of like popcorn during a movie. It's traditional, You get your food, you push play on your show that you're streaming, that you've been waiting all day to watch, or it finally came out, if it's your week, whatever. You push play on it. You have your food. Your food's just out of the oven or wherever, however you warmed it, cooked it, whatever. And there's commercials. That's like, dude, I want to dig right into this. You want to have that first bite of hot pizza right now. And it's like, no, you're waiting for 1 of 7 commercials or 1 minute and 49 seconds. And, no, you know what I mean? Or you're hearing some diarrhea side effect commercial, medication commercial. It's like, no, I want to eat what? Yeah, this commercial era is so cuckoo bananas garbage, It's too much. And no, we're not all going to pay. I think some of them, or maybe all of them, however, we can't even pay for a premium rate. And you're going to pay for a premium rate for all of it, right? Even YouTube. It's a little better currently, where it's like really short. And it's like 16 seconds or 5 seconds, and you can skip the commercial if you watch. But if you don't click skip, it goes away and you have to watch them. Anyway, but it's like, oh my lord. So even YouTube has commercials. Not so bad when you're watching like a whole movie on there, officially apparently, and it's like free with ads. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, and they're a little bit with the commercials currently, But it's like, who's going to pay for it's just crazy. I know everything's bleeding, every blood from a stone, everything and every facet for money. It's crazy. It's like every company's poor, every company's like poor, everyone in every company's like poor, if not poor. Like if it said to someone like everyone's broke or brokey or kinda, essentially, because even like the rich are like, they're down to their last mansion, or, we used to summer in blah, blah, but now we stay in our mansion, our one mansion instead of our summer home, and etc. We had to get rid of the yacht. Now we charter a yacht. It's crazy, Yeah. Everyone's like kind of living by the skin of their teeth. And ironically, that segues into my guest today, who's going to discuss some ways to survive if you're a starving artist, especially if you have a very specific goal. Hear my guest. Let me get let go. There on the other side of the glass. Yeah, we gotta go like now. Okay. So after this next very brief. Don't flame me up. Don't cook me. After this brief commercial, that, guess what, is a sentence. It's a sentence. So chill on that. But I'll still say, after this commercial message, our guest. That Kevin Show is brought to you in part by T-Mobile, the Uncarrier.
I guess we'll be here in a second. Got the air on, as per the request. It is a little warm in here. So, yeah, we can crank up the AC. Well, let's discuss the elephant in the room, guys. Or the house. Or perhaps the hope of a house. Because a lot of people are worried on multiple facets of the world with the crisis, this level of apocalypse we all live in. And who knows if anyone's going to be able to afford groceries in 2 weeks, how much milk's going to be next week, how much gas is right now before you hit the pump. Will next week be better? Will next week be worse? I mean, I mean, I remember, like, I've said this example before with people. I remember, like, there were two teachers who were dating, like, a history teacher and, like, your favorite, like, homeroom teacher or whatever. And, like, oh, they're dating, that's cute, the hippie teachers or whatever, And, like, oh, they live together? And it's like they were living together and you overheard or maybe even said to some of the students, like, that they hope they're saving to one day have a house. And yes, that's an honorable profession, teachers, but they were hoping to have a house. And that's, like, years and years ago, you know what I mean? Now it's just like almost like a faraway dream, Like now it's like two teachers in that scenario would be like doing the teaching, but also having some sort of online side hustle and like probably door dashing or and Instacarting, during the off season, during the summer break for all the other kids are living it, loving it, and then they're getting to see their teachers DoorDash And then they're filming TikToks making fun of them about being double dashed and all that. Oy. So it's a bit wild. So how do we do it? Do you even hope to have a house? Is your plan to win the lottery? You know what I mean? Is it, oh man, if you blow up on Insta and get on Big Brother and you know what I mean, and get some sort of sponsor deal that you don't even know about, you might be able to get a house, you know? What's your plan? Well, to shed some light on this, hopefully potential light at the end of the tunnel, please welcome author of Gifts from the Muse, The Fires of Passion, and The Gilly of Walk, founder of Double Entendre, and a great human being, Danielle Champiat. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Oh.
How are you?
Oh, awesome possum. I was filming this weekend, so I got a lot of creative endeavors, a lot of fires burning, a lot of plates spinning, and woohoo, you know?
Great. That sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah. I could tell everyone more when I'm allowed to talk more about it, but before we dive into like what I was talking previously in my monologue here about home ownership and all that, tell us your creative process when writing these great books that people can find on Double Entendre.
Oh yeah, my website. It's actually www.a-muse.com, and my writing company is Double Entendre.
Yes,
the books available on there are like poetry books. I have 2 poetry collections and then 1 children's book, which is written in rhyming scale. That one was actually a family story. My great grandpa on my mom's side wrote the story initially, and I grew up hearing it. It was like all the kids in the family, everybody was reading this to us. And for years, there's a lot of back and forth between she and my uncle and all of that as to who was going to publish the book, and they both wrote different versions of it, and that went nowhere. And I finally just got tired of it, and I was just like, fine, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I took some of the pictures that she had drawn and added some of my own and edited and added to my great-great-grandpa's story, and that became The Gilly of Walk, which is now published on Barnes & Noble and also on Amazon.
Ooh, very cool.
And it's a Thanksgiving story, which there's no Thanksgiving stories out there, so it's a really cool story that centers around Thanksgiving.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, think of your boy, your favorite Kev, if you need someone to play a part in it, if we ever adopt it for a Thanksgiving special.
Oh, absolutely.
A classic Thanksgiving tale, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally.
I feel like the only Thanksgiving movie I can ponder off the top of my head is called Thanksgiving, the horror film. That was pretty decent.
That was a very good flick. I like that one. Yeah.
Oh, very cool, very cool. I mean, one of the things I love about you, Dee, is like that you're like a jack or a Jill of all trades. You have so many skills and all that. And even all those books are like different levels, from adult to children's book that we just talked about. And you know, while you're not quite a starving artist, you have a plan for home ownership that like someone in dire straits might be able to utilize. What is your master plan for possible and hopeful, I'm sure, home ownership?
Well, after years of exploring the traditional ways of getting a home that is actually quite frustrating, a lot convoluted, and just takes up a big chunk of your life and sometimes goes absolutely nowhere. Going through like even just trying to save up to get a home the traditional way with the down payment and all of that could take forever. You know, you work yourself to death for that, and it's really hard to scale that mountain. And then they have the 0 down loans through the FHA, which is not a bad program and stuff, but again, very, very convoluted, a lot of restrictions. It's like the realtor I had during that process was great. The mortgage people left me wanting. So kind of soured the experience for me and stuff. But the one I've landed on now that I'm going through is through Evergreen Habitat for Humanity, which that's what the chapter called for my area in Clark County. The overall name is just Habitat for Humanity, and it's they have their own set of requirements and stuff. Having to have a solid work history, and you don't have to have stellar credit, but you can't have any collections on there, not even paid collections. So that would be something, going into it. You want to check your credit history and make sure.
You said not even what kind of collections?
Not even paid ones.
Oh.
So you can negotiate with the credit companies yourself to get those removed, and I think it's like after 7 or 7.5 years or something like that, it's supposed to come off, which our credit histories do have a lot of older stuff on it, so we just kind of got to go through it, and you got to go through the dispute process with them to get it taken off and everything. But you can do that, or if it's something that you're paying on, negotiate with the creditor themselves that, hey, I'll pay this off, but you take it off of my credit report first, and make sure that you get that agreement in writing on their letterhead, that the place that you owe the money to on their letterhead, and that they actually take it off your report before you pay them. Yeah. Because otherwise you have nothing to negotiate with. So, there's different avenues to do it, if you are willing to put in the work and take those steps. But, yeah, it's totally worth it. Habitat for Humanity, they rehab homes, which everybody knows that about them, that they go and they find these fixer-uppers and they fix them up, and then, people move in. But they also have new homes that they've built. So there's quite... there's quite a selection, even though they don't show everything on their website. I was really surprised when I went through their class that, or orientation, I should say, that they had a lot more home opportunities than what was on their website. Yeah. No, it was totally cool. And that is the first step, is that you attend one of the orientations so you can learn what they're all about. But they do make the process a lot easier. They have very skilled and well-studied people that will walk you through it. There's even a lot of homes that they have grants that they can apply to on your behalf to help lower the cost of the house if it's like a more expensive house.
All right, so the range, you said brand new to fixer-uppers. Okay, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
They even have a home remodeling program for people that actually need work done on their house, too, that has certain income requirements to it and everything. But, yeah, they're a pretty wide-ranging agency that, there's a lot of stuff to them that people just don't realize, which is really cool. If you go on their website and, look for the chapter that's in your area, they have a lot of programs that are available to help people that are needing that more housing stability and not able to pursue, homes, mostly for income basis,
Yeah. So
traditional.
how does the payment process exactly work? Do you have to pay off the house completely? Is it traditional payment for home, or is it?
Oh, it's like a regular mortgage that you get through them. They have different lending agencies that they work with, banks and stuff like that. And they've been around for quite a while, so it's a very stable program, very stable business. And, so you get to claim it on your taxes. The difference with getting a home through Habitat for Humanity versus the traditional way is that you don't, you own the house, like you pay, you're making payments on the house, you pay off the house, but you don't own the land that the house is sitting on.
Oh.
You kind of, for a very, very, very small fee, I think it comes out to like maybe $30 a month or something like that. You are like, I don't know if you call it renting or leasing the land from Habitat for Humanity. They maintain ownership of the land itself.
And
I mean, you could
so
still go
what-
through your yard and however you want to do it.
Oh,
But
good. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
you can customize and
Yeah.
have your own creative. Okay.
no, but the reason that they do it that way is, for one, it stabilizes the value of the house so that you are not subject to the ups and downs of the market, and also it keeps the price of the homes lower because
Okay.
they're such a big agency, and of course you get breaks on stuff for being the type of company that they are. So those are things that really help the homeowner. But it is very much your house that you are buying, and you own it, and you can claim it on your taxes. And when you pay, paid into it for a number of years, you can borrow against the equity. It's just like a regular house in every other way, except for the land that it's sitting on.
So way cheaper, but you're paying like $30 a month. So
To
rent the
them.
land. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's all like in one same thing. Like when you're making your payment and stuff like that, it's all there, along with like your home insurance, which you can use theirs, or if you have an insurance company that you prefer, you can go through them. Like I go through Progressive right now, and I have my car and renters and all of that bundled up in it. So, it's like I'd be more probably leaning towards keeping them for my insurance, just because I get that break. And they're fine with that. They're fine as long as you have insurance. They're good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and their people are they're very helpful. They're there to walk you through every step of the process. When you apply with them, your application's good for a year. So if your credit you need time to bring that up, or you have some other stuff to take care of, that you have that time. And yeah.
So when you say it's cheaper, how much cheaper would you say about on average, if you have that data at all?
Depends on the size of the house that you're going for and whether or not it qualifies for a grant. I've seen some of their houses be like around the low hundreds of thousands of dollars, so like say 120, 150. And those would be the smaller homes. That they range from like 520 square feet on up to like 1,500 square feet. And some of the bigger homes, they also offer grant assistance with the overall payment of the house. So that could lower it anywhere from like a quarter down to even like half of what the house would be selling for. It would be taken care of by the grant, which would lower your overall responsibility to purchasing that house.
So you own the house, not quite the land. It almost reminds me of like when I've seen like houses more than a couple times, like on the road, like wide load being transported somewhere. It's almost like, yeah, I can own the house and I can move it somewhere else if I own the land somewhere else one day. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess kind of. I mean, if you wanted to, I guess try to move a house. I mean, you can move a house. Period. Not just the prefab ones. The other thing that their program, and with them owning the land, it protects the homeowner against things such as eminent domain, which I've seen even local government cities try to enact that for the I don't know, I guess the most ridiculous of things. Like I had friends that lived up north off the Puget Sound that they had a house off the Sound. It was like half on land, half on piers over the water. They'd had it forever. for like at least 30 years. They'd lived in this house, and the city wanted to put in a bike path along the water, which not really much of a view considering all across the water is like Bremerton and the shipyard. So, yeah, not the stunning, scenery. Anyway, they wanted to get rid of all of those houses, which there was his house, there was a bunch of other houses. I used to deliver papers to those houses when I was in high school, that were along the water, and they thought they obstructed the view, so they were trying to enact right of eminent domain to get those houses removed, get the people removed from that area for a bike path. Which, I mean,
It reminds me of all those stories where like an old ladies own the home for like ever and ever, and they're building they start building infrastructure around it and coffee shops around it. It becomes more of a part of the city, and it's like, no, my home's here, and it's like there's like a home in the middle of all this business. Wow, it's crazy. I never heard of that expression though. I didn't know that's what it was called. Huh?
That would be, I guess, a bigger example of eminent domain. But yeah, it's been coming into play more and more. You don't hear of it very often because people don't want to lose their homes. People don't want to upset the homeowners because they pay for taxes. Their taxes go into schools and the bus systems and a whole bunch of stuff. So it really is in any area's, any city's best interest to have as many homeowners as possible. So that's what makes, these programs like Habitat for Humanity's homeownership and everything so valuable, is because that's putting money back into the community as well as providing a stable housing environment for people. Because, I mean, anybody who's ever lived in an apartment, it's like, your rent goes up. Your place doesn't get any bigger. It doesn't get any better, but your rent goes up. So
yeah, it's a great
homeownership is where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get it for sure, and everyone wants it, needs it, and it should have the right to it.
And if for some reason you should lose the battle with the eminent domain, which they would also be taking on the Habitat for Humanity organization since they have the land ownership and stuff. Habitat for Humanity would relocate you, get you into a new house for no extra charge.
Really? That's worth it. Okay.
No, it really does protect your interests overall.
That alone, peace of mind might, in a way, pay for that $30 a month thing, like more than worth it. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Like a landlord that's actually just there to protect you, maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, and they do have a few stipulations, like you can't have owned a home in the last 3 years. So they really wanted to work with the first-time buyers and give them a shot at that.
Oh, cool.
And I'm curious with the new act that the government just passed for housing, how that's going to impact their business, how much of an asset that's going to be to their particular program. Because that bill is geared toward places developing more housing, not apartment housing, but like houses to, I guess, renew the waters for each community and stuff for homeowners. Because right now we got these big companies that came in and they were buying up all these houses, real estate companies and places like, Jeff Bezos has got a type of company where you can, it's got houses to rent and B&B and stuff like that. So those guys are buying up all these houses. Well, that creates a short supply for people to go out and purchase, which drives up all the other prices, so it makes it really, really tough for the average person to buy a house if you don't have $400 million in the bank or something.
And so this program's kind of fighting that, huh? I guess.
It's helping. Yeah, the bill that just passed in the House and the Senate. They put that into play. That's not only incentivizing through grants and stuff for the communities to build more houses and make it available for people to purchase, but also puts a stop to those big companies coming in and gobbling up all these houses.
Oh, man. I just hope, I hope the program's not on like borrowed time if it's going against the billionaires. I hope they don't find something to screw it out, or you know what I mean. Okay, yeah, wow. So it might be the best time to really try to jump in on it, just in case you can get in and own a home.
Yeah, well, it might take it a bit to, because they don't pop up these houses overnight. It seems like it, but yeah. So it's something that's going to take. You'll see the effects of it within a year or two. With new houses going out and the availabilities, and hopefully help stabilize the market a little bit better too with house prices. Because the same house that I was looking at purchasing, say, back when Obama was took office, and he had dropped the mortgage rates like really low and stuff, and everybody was just like, it was like a frenzy out there, to get houses. That same house is now triple the price as it was then. So, before I'd gone the route with Habitat for Humanity, I did try going a more traditional way, or trying my luck at the FHA loans again and stuff, because they're zero down, and you still have to, in a lot of cases, do the closing costs and all of that jazz. But it still, helps a bit, takes the sting out of the whole purchasing thing. I got approved for $150,000, which I was just like, are you kidding me? It's like, you can't even get a crack shack in a bad neighborhood for $150,000 these days. Like, why didn't you tell me no? You'd be a lot kinder.
Get a pool house on the side of a freeway. That's crazy.
They were so excited to tell me. It's like, oh, hey, you were approved for this, and I'm like, and I'm going to do what with that?
Yeah. Siesta. Just have a big party. Jeez.
I'm still going to have to come up with another $200,000 on my own just to get something that might have indoor plumbing.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
It's an ordeal. And the other great thing with Habitat for Humanity too is, at least in my area, and it might be like universally and stuff, is that they lowered the amount of required hours for volunteer, because it's a partnership program, and they have some great ways that you can do that. They have, like, for my area, they have it down to 16 hours, which, it's like, that's super easy to do.
16 hours, and then you're done. You get the full grant for the house, you're saying, or?
Yeah, you apply, you go to the orientation, and then you fill out their application. You give them all the paperwork that they want, your copies of your taxes and all of that stuff, your pay stubs, and it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of copying, but just time consuming, not super hard. Anyway, you give all that to them, and then they give it to their lenders, and once you're approved, then there's like a number of volunteer hours that you do, which in my case in this area, they lowered it to 16. The classes, like, they have these great home ownership classes that show you all the ins and outs, because it's more than just, hey, I want that house, I'm moving in. There's a lot more to owning a home than just that. And so their classes are designed to help to educate you and help you through that whole process, so that you are fully prepared to, move into that home and have it be a success. And so most of your volunteer time can be taken up in those classes, but then they also, like, the tail end of that's left, you could either volunteer through their stores. They have a lot of resale shops in the area that helps fund their program. There's also the other traditional way of going out for whatever house that they're working on and volunteering your services that way. which that's, it's a fun time. You get to work with a crew and you get to learn something about working on a house, which I find is a benefit. If you're going to own a house, you should be able to do some handy stuff around there and not have to hire somebody, every time something, needs work.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's pretty incredible. Wow.
No, yeah, it is. It is quite a program. And most people think that they only cater to families, but they also serve individuals. So the size of your house goes anywhere from one person up to however many you have living there, and of course the income scale also matches that. Like I think for one individual, the range is like $31,000 up to $71,000 a year for earning capacity. Like you can't have less than the 31,000 or more than the 71,000, and then it goes up from there depending on how many people are actually living in your household. Yeah, and like I said, that's all on their website. It spells it out very clearly, and they go through everything in their orientation. You could ask like tons of questions to them, and they're fantastic with the answers. Like they're on it. They know their stuff, so they're very great to work with.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah. Huh.
I know. I'm like super excited. I mean, I'm having to do more work now. I have a full-time job that I work. Plus I DoorDash, which, because being even though I have books on Amazon and stuff, my poetry books, poetry doesn't pay the rent. So,
Yeah.
and I am super driven to make this happen. This opportunity is like a gift, and it's just like, okay, this is my shot, and I'm going for it. So, making sure that I think your credit score has to be at least 620.
So work for that, and you have to have a certain amount of money available to put down, right? Or
it depends on the house that you're going for, but typically no.
Oh.
Now, if they were given some examples on that, like say you had an insurance settlement or something in, like say an auto accident or whatever, and you got like $50,000 for that. They would be expecting that you'd put at least $25,000 of that down on the house. So it just that, and again, it depends on the situation.
Okay, so they check your financials, and like, if you're in dire straits, maybe you don't have to do that, or okay. But if
so they work with you, giving them copies of your bank statements. That is standard, not just with them, but with like any house that you're applying to. They're going to want that information on you because they want to know what you got, what you can afford.
Someone out. Yeah.
So they, but typically no. That's the nice thing about their program is that it makes it a lot easier for a person to get a home.
I love it.
Yeah, no, so do I. I am super excited about all of this stuff. So, and it is, but they have their limits. So it is like one house per family. So, and you can, it even says it on their site that, say I wanted to, like make up a will and, when I pass on, I can leave my house to whomever I designate.
Okay.
So you can do stuff like that. Or,
and again, like, the home would be theirs, but they have to pay the $30 land thing, but the home is theirs, and that's a home.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that would be theirs. And the taxes, the property taxes, of course, and stuff, which are tax deductible. So, that's, the wonderful thing about, owning a house is that, there's a lot more stuff that you could deduct than you can renting, a house or apartment.
Are there any kind of weird rules at all? It being through the system, like, could you run a business through your home? Is that totally out? Like, say someone wants to be a hairstylist at their home, or
not
no?
like that. No, I mean, there's a lot of like mine with my writing company, and I do a bunch of other stuff too. That I list my residence as my home office. So in that respect, yes, you can have a home-based business, but I can't see clients at my, at the house because
okay.
it's a liability. If something were to happen, then that would put everything in legal jeopardy and stuff. Or businesses have to, any like storefront business or whatever has got a liability insurance that's like really super high just because you don't know things can happen. People make things happen.
You could work
we
from
live
home.
in a very litigious society, so yes, that's why they stipulate that yes, you can have the home based business, but a no to like the daycare or the hairstylist or seeing the clients. Having something where you'd have clientele traffic.
Even you couldn't be like a therapist and have a guest come over, probably even or something, or.
No, because that would still be a liability issue because
They could trip on the sidewalk or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's different than you having a barbecue, having your friends over. So that's not the same thing. Yeah, but when you're talking business, then you can list it as your home office, but not seeing clients at your home. Meet them at Starbucks or something like that. Let the slip and fall thing be on them.
You could have parties. You could have as many animals as you want. I mean,
Yeah, it's your house. It is your house. You can paint it whatever colors and stuff. The one of the other quirks to it is as far as like selling the house. Like say, you're in it for a while and you want to sell it. They would really strongly prefer that you sell it back to them so that the house stays within the program, which they will give you, fair market value for the house at the time that you're selling it. So you're not like going to take a discount having to sell it back to them or anything like that. But it's just, especially because of the whole land thing and stuff, they really prefer to, and their program has got.
Well, yeah, how would you? I wonder how someone would even sell it. So if you did sell it to someone else, not them, it would just be a headache for them because it's like then they have to deal with the $30 a month and maybe. Well, I guess there's not too many rules, but they. Yeah.
Well, they might not be somebody that would qualify for their program. Maybe there's somebody that, has a couple of houses already, so.
And so in that case, you really couldn't sell it to them, or would you or they be in trouble if you did? I went through, or you tried to, or did you have to get approval from them? I guess if they were buying it, or.
Given the ins and outs of their program, it would be strongly encouraged to work with them. That would definitely be a better question to ask the Habitat people directly, but that's just what they were talking about. That's one thing that came up in the orientation and stuff is that, yes, you can sell it at your house, but they would really prefer to be able to buy it back. And, if they're giving you fair market value for the house and stuff, and you're getting your money out of it, then... plus the equity of the house and everything, then it's worth it just to, do it that way. So that way I guess the house stays within the family and you get your money and everybody's happy.
Yeah. And what's your likely timetable for hopefully or definitely getting a house, would you say?
Well, I started the process early this year. Went to the orientation, I want to say it was like February. So I've been working like the rest of the time. I did have a couple of things on my credit that I had to fix up. Like one of it was a collection item. It was like a really old one. And that's how I found out that you can't have like anything on there. So I did get that taken off. They're going to repull my credit in September. That was like the earliest that she would be able to do it. And so, we'll talk a little bit more specifically at that time. And then I could get a look at their houses and stuff like that. I know the credit number, my credit score itself already meets the requirements. Everything else I've got going on meets the requirements. So it was just that one thing I needed to take care of, And then it depends on if it's, a house that they've already, say, got built and is available, or if it's something they have to refurbish, it could take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, depending on the circumstances, what size of house I'm going for, you know. So the other things that, you know, I'm going to be looking at, because my lease rate for my apartment renews in February, is depending on the timetable, I might be looking at having to go to a month-to-month contract with my landlord at that time, just so that I don't have to worry about breaking a lease and, you know, having to absorb any, like, huge costs, because they want you to cover, like, the balance of the lease, or, you know, some places get really funny about that stuff, and they, you know, it's like they want you to pay out the balance of the year because you're on the lease, and it's like, okay, so, and that it might be in my best interest just to do a month-to-month, which would be an extra $100 a month for me. So, yeah, another reason why I've been, you know, working so much is I just want to prepare for all of that stuff, the cost of moving, and, you know, any other little surprises and stuff that, you know, might come along. But, you know, those are the two big things I'm looking at, is, you know, the cost of moving, and then, you know, covering that extra $100 up until the time that I can move out. So.
Man. Oh.
I know. Lots of planning.
Yeah, jeez. Well, I have to come to the housewarming party, you know?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this has been, like, I've wanted my own house since I was a wee little girl. I have always lived in apartments. I mean, I've had a few sparse moments in my life where I lived in a house, and I loved living in a house. Apartments are just, you know, there's not enough personal space for me. You know?
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. More than ever,
We're
yeah.
live with a bunch of great neighbors right now, you know, and everybody's, like, cool with each other. You don't often find that, you know, in an apartment situation. But I've really wanted my own house for a very, very, very long time. So this is a dream that's been decades in the making. I can't wait. I, you know, it's like, even if the only house that I can afford is, like, on the smaller end, like, say it's the 500 and something square foot house, I'll make that work.
Oh, yeah. It's a house, yeah. I mean, come on, yeah.
It is a house. That will be a more stable, you know, housing situation for me. I won't have to deal with the high rising costs of the rent. It'll be my money's working for me, not against me, or working for somebody else.
And you could always build up on the house, too, right? You could always expand on it, technically, or...
Yeah, that I didn't get, like, the straightest answer with that. I think, again, they would also prefer that you work with their people, or they want to make sure that the person working on your house is very skilled and qualified, you know, person to be doing the work. You know, there's a lot of people out there that they don't really do such the greatest of jobs, and so they're very picky about the houses. You know,
no Craigslist handyman, you know.
Yeah, yeah, but because that was one thing I was thinking. It's like, what if I want to go up? You know, and there's a way. I'm sure there. You know, it's like we can talk, we can negotiate. There's a happy medium to be met between us on that. You know.
Very cool. Yeah, I could be pretty creative, like a nice little cool house. The size of a cool studio nest, but it's like a house, and then I build up.
Yeah.
My own tower of power.
I figure bare minimum between the size of the house and the garage, that's going to be roughly about the same square footage, maybe a little bit more, as the apartment that I have.
Okay.
So I'm not really losing any ground that way. What I'm gaining is a housing stability and something that's going to allow me to breathe easier going forward. So that's the biggest thing, is just making sure that you don't bite off more than you can chew. You know, I've seen that happen with people, even something like building a house, where they just get into it, and then next thing you know, you only got half a house and, you know, nowhere to live. So, It's very important that, yes, I would love to have the 1,500 square foot house and, at least 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and, a nice yard and all of that. Can I afford that right now? Probably not.
Who can,
So, maybe down the road, I live in this house for 10 years and then, see where my income's at that time and stuff. Maybe I sell it back to them and I can get a bigger house. Yeah, that might be the better way for me to go.
Oh, thanks so much for your time, Dee. And yeah, again, I'm coming to the housewarming party. I hope it'll be keto friendly, and if not, I'll bring a grip of catering.
Okay. Hey, that's right. You do. I will look forward to that.
Oh man. Oh.
I'll supply the music.
Oh my god. Oh, and before I say goodnight, because I know you have a heart out, madam, but what are the best places again to get those books?
You can get them through Barnes & Noble and also on Amazon. For Amazon, because it could be a little bit tricky pulling up my name, Barnes & Noble seems to come up very quickly. I do have, if you go onto my website, the www.a-muse9.com, I do have a store page on there that has the links for Amazon, and Amazon right now is actually at a lower price than Barnes & Noble is for purchase.
Ooh, there you go.
So,
that's for all the books? Yeah. Gifts of the Muse, the Adult, The Fires of Passion, the children's book, the Gilly of Walk?
Yeah, those are the only ones I have completed. I wrote a novel some years ago, and it was an anthology of short stories, and I tried to get that published, send it out to a bunch of companies, and it kept getting kicked back, and, from them, they don't, I guess anthologies are short story collections aren't that popular, and so they didn't want to go that route and stuff, and it's like, I could have self-published again, but, I really wanted to go through a publisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
If you can, why not, but yeah.
I licked my wounds, I regrouped, I was like, okay, so I am rewriting it as one cohesive story, and there's like a few others, but, it's like I've kind of sidelined those creative projects right now because the house is taking so much of my attention.
Oh, yeah.
But rest assured.
How long ago was that with your writing that writing project? Was that a while ago, or?
It was before, probably about 6 years ago, before the pandemic.
I was gonna say, it might be the same kind of atmosphere, but maybe try again, because with streaming and everything, people are starving for content. Maybe you'd have better luck, even with the short stories,
Oh yeah, no, I get stories in my head all the time. Writing is like my passion. I have a lot of art things that I am very interested in, and I love to create, but I would have to say that writing, whether it be poetry or songs or stories, it's like that is my passion. That is the one thing I am constantly thinking of, even when I'm at work and I'm doing stuff at work. It's like I'm thinking of these stories.
Yeah, no, it's I'm very similar to that. Where it's like sometimes I have a project where I'm so gung ho about it, and then like midway through I get inspired something totally different. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta finish this other one though. It's like
But yeah, once your art's like a part of your soul like that, it's like you never lose your place. I could pick that stuff up 10 years from now and it'll be like yesterday. Yeah. So I'm very excited to get back to that, but like I said, this house thing is my priority. So I am putting all of my energies into it and then some. Well,
home is where the heart is. So all right. Oh, well, thanks again so much, and everybody get those books. Help her get closer to that goal as well.
Help a girl out here.
Yeah. And you heard it, keep and get those books, follow that lead, and get your house, get your life, and read those books in your own fortress of solitude.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, thanks again so much, Danielle. Good night.
Good night.
Well, Kev Lovables, look for me on your screens very soon, and in your ears again next week with, I like to surprise you, but I'll just say, my guests, they have some screen credits to be sure, and if you're into the world of fitness, you might know them for sure because they have more than one bodybuilding championship to their name. And thanks again, guys, for all the great vibes, because I know, you better know, I love you too. Good night. And before I go, I'd be remiss to say, this episode of That Kev One Show is dedicated to actor Sam Neill. Rep the brand that is behind-the-scenes film talk, positive vibes, and discovering what the human condition is all about as nonstop creativity guides us on and on and on with That Kev One Show merchandise. Now for sale at thatkev1show.etsy.com. That Kev One Show, spelled of course that, Kev number 1 N, show. Hey, you're a fan. You want to rep it. You know how to spell it. So get it today and glow with us. This portion of That Kev One Show is supported by Bohemian Dream Gifts, made with organic and natural oils that nourish and hydrate your skin. Man, I don't know if it's the weather outside or the gym that was killing my skin, because my right elbow on the, it itched like the Dickens, like I was becoming like the lizard from Marvel Comics. I think it's that machine where you put your elbow in and do the lifts, for the bicep. But I was itching my skin like crazy during, well, I won't say who because I don't want them associated with rough skin, with one of our guests here in the near future here. But my right elbow was getting ashy and coming up, getting red and irritated. Anyway, I used some of the promotional cookie dough body oil from Bohemian Dream Gifts that they gave us, and my skin, I'm not kidding, came back. I can vouch for that one. The cookie dough oil body oil, the cookie dough body oil brought my skin back to life like an Evanescence song. I'm not kidding. My skin is smooth and happy again. 100%. You can buy cookie dough oil on Etsy at the Bohemian Dream Gifts shop. Check out their other stuff as well, but that's one that I swear by now. And as soon as my promotional one runs out, I'm going to order some myself. So go to Etsy and visit the Bohemian Dream Gifts shop today. What's better than your favorite talk show? Well, maybe homemade delicious food, cold beer, or a drink of your choosing in a comfortable atmosphere. Well, look no further than the Boulevard Tap House for the world-famous fish and chips, seafood, all-around delicious menu with pizza, all kinds of food, wings, steak bites, anything you can imagine when you want to watch the big game or catch some live jazz if you pick the right night. Open 7 days a week. Go to boulevardtaphouse.com right now. I like to go to their Terwilliger Curve location. That's the home location for their, not only their fish and chips, and they knew that they always used to give me Caesar chicken salad and wine. They kind of made jokes and made fun of me of that. My favorite food there now might just be the brand new Mark Kevin. That's a margarita pizza named after me. Don't know if they did it because I'm Italian or what, but I had it, and it is delicious and, dare I say, nutritious. Anyway, friends, go on in, have a great time. When you're there, you truly are family. No cap. Enjoy the Boulevard Tap House today.